Arts Adventure is about art, artists, and how art is made. So stop what you're doing and come on along on our next Arts Adventure. Okay, Mia.
Hi.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is that you have here, what people are going to need, and what you're going to be doing.
Essentially, we're going to make a Christmas centerpiece. I've had the Oasis soaking in water. This is a alternative to just freestanding water. It's a foam, and it absorbs the water. And it's easy to build in. So I thought that would be the best thing to do today. Okay. I'm going to tape it down. See what I'm saying? You don't want it, well, see what I'm saying? You don't want it moving all around. So this is a clear tape, floral tape.
If someone is going to do this at home, what are they going to need?
I bought this bowl and this little candlestick at the Dollar Tree. I've hot glued them together and spray painted it rose gold. I'm crazy about rose gold.
All right.
The Oasis is a floral foam. Like I said, it absorbs water. I've just got a pair of wire cutters for any of my silk things that I'm going to add later.
Okay.
I've got some snips for the branches and stuff, and then just a good pair of scissors.
All right.
Right now I'm just taping down my foam so it doesn't shift on us. And it doesn't have to be, just great, just essentially here and there. And the clear helps because you can't see it once you've got your greenery coming over the sides. So I've gone across it 3 times, and then what I'm going to do is just go around the sides to make sure that the ends are all secure. And this bowl has the little crevices in it, so it gives it a really good hold. You really want to push that down in there. Make sure you've gone all the way around. Okay, and that way it just prevents it from moving. Okay, then we're going to green this out. Right now they've got all these fresh greens at any store, really. Some of this you can pick out of your yard, to be honest. It's little pine needles, and all the different kinds. Smells good. Smells like Christmas. Smells like a tree. So these are pieces.
What are you going to do with these?
This is going to be my base. You know, it's gonna flow over the sides. It's gonna cover up any tape.
Okay.
And it just kind of gives you a starting point. It really and truly, a lot of times, just something like this is pretty enough, in my opinion. You want to get down and tear these little pieces off so you've got a good part for your stem to stick in your foam. I like to get as much as I can, so I'll cut off various pieces, try to make them spread it out as far as I can. And it's just, you want to get all your elements in there. So. A lot of times if I'm doing, people will say, oh, make it masculine. I'd like a masculine arrangement. Well, I mean, flowers aren't exactly masculine, but if you use all the different varieties of greenery, the different textures, the colors of green, then you start adding like lotus pods and different things like that, you really can kind of capture the essence of a man as far as outdoorsy type and things like that. You know, you can put horns in there, you can do all sorts of stuff. We've made things with fishing lures and, you know, skulls and just whatever. They were hunters or fishermen or... Yeah, but see, this just kind of starts to take on a life of its own. Just gets really... And I like things with flow and movement. It's very fragrant. These things will last a really long time. This is a little time consuming, but it's going to be worth it. Kind of obsess over each thing, but I'm trying to do this for the sake of your program. Yeah, see, it just starts to get pretty fast. So I've got some really pretty lilies. This is Alstroemeria. I've got these these are called peppermint carnations, and I've got some white roses. So we're just going to start building. I've also brought a glitter spray that I will probably use.
Okay, and is that going to be the tallest flower?
With roses, you generally want to peel off that garden petal. Going through some things, but we just pull it down and pull and to the right, so it'll break off evenly. Design, odd numbers are generally best. You want 1, 3, 5. And especially with the centerpiece, you want to keep in mind people are going to be looking over it. Need to be able to see. And with the carnation, you really can. It's so durable. You can just get in there and kind of manipulate it around and get it good and open. If they're tight, they're not always this tight. But
Okay.
flower, it's very long lasting. That's another thing I picked. Carnations and Alstroemeria, these will last 2 weeks. Roses, not so much. Lilies, definitely not. But the carnations and the Alstro is very long. It has a longevity of life.
Okay.
But a lot of times they're tight. You know, they have it really opened, so you can just get in there and kind of manipulate it.
So pushing them down helps open them up. Okay.
Sometimes, you know, in your design, it's just about how your stem length. You know, you'll have to go back sometimes and just trim. You guys are Christmassy and festive, so I'm just gonna get these with this silver glitter. Once it dries, it's just a clear spray with glitter.
Oh, okay.
And that's just gonna give it a little bling, turning it. These aren't open yet, so they can kind of be added in places where you're not necessarily gonna have the open bloom just yet, and give it room though to still open. And once they do open, you're gonna want to remove the stamen. They're the little things inside that turn rusty. They will ruin your clothes and your tablecloths and anything else they come in contact with.
Oh, wait.
Well, people are like, why are you blowing on that flower? That bud was really tight, so a lot of times when people are like, don't put your mouth on my flowers. But I mean, that's what I have to do to make that come open. See, and that just gets it open. Remember how tight it was? Now it's...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see.
But I need to use this because I only have 3, and that goes with my odd number. I need 3. I love lilies. Okay. Same thing with these lilies. I mean, these aren't quite open enough, but you can put your mouth on it and blow air into it to make it start to open. Coax it open. Now they wouldn't have the glitter on them because they're not open yet, but we're gonna have enough in there, enough sparkle in there. We're not gonna worry about that. Really, it's just about filling holes, filling the spaces where there's not something. And a lot of people are big on the textures. They don't want petal on petal. They don't want the same thing side by side. You know, you want to see the contrast. Like I said, really it's all about the lengths, and with this foam, you can play with that a little bit and just push it in further. Oh, I forgot my Alstro. This is a little different because if you were to take those pieces off individually, they're way too fragile. So you want to, and I remove a lot of the greenery because we already have so much. Don't really want to take away from what we're doing. Alstroemeria is in the lily family as well. They're just kind of little miniature lilies. So we'll get a few of those put in there.
And what type of flower is that?
It's an Alstroemeria. It's in the lily family, and like I said, it's really a good thing. When I go see my grandmother, that's what I take her, because I know that they'll last several weeks. I wish that we had some more white or green, looks like. But I'll add, when I add my ornaments and things, I'll bring in some green. And people say, oh, Christmas, all flowers these are available all the time. You just get them in red and green and white. It's the only difference. There's no special Christmas flowers, it's just the color schemes. So, again, you find a hole or something lacking, put another flower in it. One or two more, and then we'll start to add our other elements. Pretty pleased with that. What do we think? Okay, and like I said, I've just brought along a few things to kind of jazz it up. This actually was already painted. It came in with the greenery that I purchased with eucalyptus. These are, for all intents and purposes, pretty much dried. They'll just slide right off, and then you can just, oh, and it smells wonderful. Piece here and there.
And that's eucalyptus.
This is a spiral eucalyptus. There's several varieties, but this is spiral. You'll see these a lot of times just in silks and dried arrangements. This guy's got a little bit of a tilt to him, so I'm going to try to prop him up, cut shorter so he won't flop around. And like I said, here we got pine cones. I purchased this, but you can go outside, pick up pine cones, and glue a stick to them. These are just little cheap plastic ornaments, inexpensive plastic ornaments, and I've glued sticks to them as well. My theme this year for my own personal tree is all the varieties of rose gold and the jewel tones, so I just took some of my own and started gluing them. So the rose gold is going to reflect off of your container. Like I said, to be honest, this stuff came from the Dollar Tree. You know, it's really accessible, easy to do, affordable. Kind of got glued together. Just kind of makes it look a little more festive. And again, that's just going to poke in that foam and go in or come out as far as, it's up to your discretion. Just whatever pleases your eye. Silver. And if you see any, you might see a piece here or there that seems to be lacking around the edge, just go back in with some more of your greenery. It's kind of hard to gauge because you do it at first and it gets covered up by your flowers. And I like things, to come out and be wispy, and again, it adds to the volume and the size. statement. Just kind of come out on your sides there. You bored yet?
I'm falling asleep over here. I'm so tired.
What might someone expect to spend to be able to do an arrangement like this? As opposed to, what would you charge to do an arrangement like this? How much would you charge to do an arrangement like this?
That's an easy $60, $75.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot, but I
No, don't even go there.
Thank you. It's like anything else, you know. It's business. It's the price of business.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
You're paying for a.
You're providing your skill and talent, and that adds to the value of.
You know, it's like a glass of tea. There's no glass of tea that costs $2.75.
That's exactly right.
It's a markup. It's how a restaurant makes their money. It's the same thing in any sort of retail establishment. Okay, so then this is a product called Finishing Touch. It's just oh, I didn't do that other because I'm scared of the spray paint can at this point. Yeah, see it gets going, and again you can get all of it with it. Really, just give it a little sparkle. There we go. We're in business now. Okay. And then the finishing touch. I'm not enjoying that at all.
Well, we got to start over.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I forgot to hit the record button. You got to do it again.
Are you being serious?
Hmm?
I mean, I can. I'm just like, are you serious?
You zipped through it pretty quick, I'll say that.
Well, I can do another. I brought all these different. We'll do one in water. Anyway, this finishing touch is just I think it's a sugar water, to be honest. It's just kind of a finish. It's like a hairspray. It's a hairspray
Okay.
for a flower, for lack of better words. Okay. Here's your Christmas centerpiece.
It's my son.
Awesome.
That is pretty.
You like it?
That looks great. That's fabulous.
Good.
Would you turn it around so that I can see all the sides of it?
Yeah, I'm actually going to add one more. Put that guy up there.
Ah, there you go.
I'll just keep on going. I'll put everything we got over here. It's up to you. However much or little, or
Oh, that's awesome.
you want to use what you got and use it up.
All right. You're going to do a second arrangement for us today, and that would be.
This is just a little smaller thing. Actually, this is a good idea for teachers or maybe a desktop kind of thing, or table side, maybe for a nursing home. This is just a plain coffee cup. Just a cute little Santa's belt coffee cup. Again, I've got the Oasis, the wet foam in there. And same drill, we're just gonna green it out. Just gonna start putting our little pieces of just gonna use, again, these peppermint carnations and this red alstroemeria. These don't need to be nearly as long because we're just, I think this is a very small circumference to cover. Again, I'm just because these are brand new and they're kind of tight, but I didn't want to do this on the last piece because, you know, there's so much in there, but you could cut the individual pieces of alstroemeria off, which is what I want to do because I don't want a big glob of something because it's so small. So I've cut them off individually, but you really want to be careful because it's got a flimsy stem. So you need to make sure that you can really get it down in the oasis so it's getting actually. And you know, some of the problem with greening it out at first is then you're bumping up against that greenery, so you're not actually getting through your foam. You want to be mindful of that. Something like this is really only going to hold, you know, 3 or 4. This one will be a little bit taller. That one, I cut it off too short. So. And again, you know, I'm not necessarily a rule following type of person, but it really does, you know, it is that way for a reason because 3 is looks better than 2, and 4 it does something where your eye, how it leads your eye. What you look at. So really, I mean, without just really overdoing it, it's just got just one piece of alstroemeria cut into its 5 little individual blooms, 3 carnations, and then I'm going to, this buckle's gold, so we're going to just add a few pieces, and this is a silk product, you know, these aren't real. The wire cutters. I'm just going to snip these off. And just add those in little places where I've got holes and want a little bit more. Kind of separate your flowers with. Can you do that with real stuff as well? You know, fillers like baby's breath. And I'm going back and adding a few more pieces of greenery because I want that flow and that wispiness that I like. Kind of gives it a little more. Another piece of pine down there. And again, I mean, so much of this stuff, you know, people have little holly bushes, and we've all got pine trees. You know, you don't necessarily have to pay for this stuff. You always want to snip the ends because if you've torn it off, it doesn't have a sharp enough edge to bust through that foam. You know, you end up breaking. So save yourself the 2 steps. There you go. Just a little Christmas goodie. Something small, easy. And that's, again, just a coffee cup and the equivalent of 4 flowers.
Something like that would cost
15,
okay.
20, somewhere in there.
That's our program for today. We'd like to thank our sponsors for making this program possible. And we'd like to thank you, our audience. We look forward to seeing you again when we embark on another arts adventure.